Hello, welcome to
Yes.
this week's episode of Staying Sane. I'm your host, Jay, and my partner in crime, Hussein.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us this week. So,
Yes.
this week, we want to talk about the Muslims who are blaming
More
the
interesting.
Los Angeles fires on American support of Israel. So,
Hmm.
I haven't actually seen anything on that. I mean, I've been watching the fires. I have a lot of friends who live in LA. My brother lives in LA. He
Hmm.
actually said he's about 15 miles from the fires, but he sent me a photo of all the ash that's on his car,
Hmm.
even 15 miles away. So
Okay. So,
I guess you've
yeah.
been
Do you
you've been
have
reading
any
some
first-hand?
stories.
Yeah. Do you
Go
have
ahead.
any first-hand accounts of how this LA fires are? Like something to get an exact picture.
No, no. I've just been
Okay.
just reading like the bits in the news, but I haven't seen anything about the Muslims blaming it on the support of Israel. So,
Okay.
well,
That's something which is
yeah,
present all over the internet. Like even on the social media, on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere you can see that. And without any variation in language or geographical location or anything, everywhere Muslims who are siding with the Gaza issue, they are now saying that this issue of LA fires is something that is a retaliation by the Almighty God Allah against the America for supporting Israel in this fight. So they sent some, and for saying this, they even used some AI generated videos and some fake imageries like the Hollywood hills getting burned and that signage which is present over that mountain over there is getting burned, and all such imageries were used, fake images. So this was all around, and they were saying this way. So I'm saying this um, on a global scale. Who took this apart from what happened over there, not as a climate change issue or something that's a natural calamity or something like that, and they took that incident out of context and they're now using it for justifying their belief of retaliation, the divine intervention, and other things. So, do you have any accounts of that sort of claims
I
being
have
made in the past?
in the
Anything?
past, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it hasn't been just the Muslims. It's
Yeah.
even the evangelical Christians.
Mm.
Like when Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Pat Robertson, the evangelical Christians, blamed it on homosexuality
Hmm.
in the U.S. So it's not. This is not a uniquely Muslim feature to blame natural disasters
Right.
on God's punishment. But I haven't seen anything about this from the Muslims. But I'm not that active on the different social media
You have
channels.
to be.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's toxic. I try not to if I can avoid it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but why would LA burn? Shouldn't it be
Mm.
Washington that's burning, not LA, if that's their thinking?
Yeah, I won't say this is something particular for Muslims, or I'm not saying that, but right now, who is using this? And if you take the frequency of people doing this and to which belief system that they belong to, and especially in this modern era where people have changed a lot and they have started searching for logical reasons and scientific reasons behind such incidents, they are now not depending upon such arguments or such answers, but rather they are just led away with belief and that sort of reasoning, justifications for such incidents. So, if you ask me about any past incidents where such acts were visible, that can be seen somewhere in the earthquake that happened in Turkey, um, and almost maybe tens of thousands of people got killed over there, and the Iranian regime, okay, the Khamenei present over there, he was telling this. Okay, this is something which is a punishment from the God for the disbelievers for causing this calamity and causing trouble to the people. So that's what happened over there. And momentary moments afterwards, we could see some other incidents happening where Muslims were getting killed and they were totally silent. So this happens everywhere. And if you go back again in 1800s, you can get accounts of people getting killed on the occasion of Hajj ceremony in Saudi Arabia, and that too by diseases like cholera, and that too from the divine water, that holy water which is present over there. That's a Hajj, the Zamzam water. So that well got infected with cholera, and people drank that, and they were getting infected with cholera, and almost 20,000 people killed in one occasion, and almost 15,000 people got killed in another occasion. So that's the magnitude of people getting killed. So no one argues that okay, that's something because of the actions that was taken by the Muslims all over the world, and another God is punishing the Muslims. Nobody claimed that way, but whenever there is a problem in the world, people always try to correlate it with some kind of divine intervention and to justify their um, whims and fancies related to the religion and their decisions which is being made as a part of that. So they even quote from Quran to justify this. That's what we are seeing here. They are writing down the verses from Quran. It is mentioned in Quran, this verse, that verse, and all. So that's the kind of what do you say, foolish actions that is being visible today in this world, in this wake of this LA fires. We are standing with them. It's a worst form of natural calamity, but what we can see, it's not just humans getting affected. A lot of animals and the whole ecosystem is getting damaged, irreparable. So that's not something which we can which we can use that incident for such a kind of marketing of our belief system. So that's so unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's
but not
something which
unexpected. So
yeah, that's what something which we got so much attention in these days. So that's what. So do you have any updates on the grooming gangs and the issues pertaining to that from the UK?
I saw some headlines, but I didn't actually dive into the story on it. So I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I just saw like lots of, oh, this is fake news or this is. So I didn't even bother to read it because I wasn't sure what was going on. So, but you apparently have. So you want to bring us
Mm-hmm.
up to speed?
Yeah. No. With regards to that, the calls over the people who are trying to explain things or to bring about the hidden facts of that incident, and who are willing to talk about that incident, they are being called as the right wing, and that is they are getting dismissed, cancelled from the whole scene. That's what is so rampant these days, and the persons like Tommy Robinson, who is who is in the forefront for fighting this, is now the, what do you say, the scapegoat in this. He's now in jail, I think, and and that too for some other reason, not for this. But he's not able to express his views properly about this, and he's believed to be the first person who came out and who was trying to explain things to the people. So now Elon Musk is the person who came up with some Twitter posts, and he made this into a huge discussion. And now the Prime Minister of UK is now in a situation where they even faced a voting in the Parliament whether to reopen the investigation into this and all, and that was dismissed. And that's
Okay,
what
but what
happened.
what but what is it? Like grooming what? Grooming like young
Grooming,
boys or
yeah,
grooming terrorists or what?
no, no, no. Grooming is something which is being uh, the young girls, um, 10 years, 9 years, 13 years, 16 years. These girls were white girls were targeted by the Muslim men mostly. So they were chasing down these girls, and they were being used for sexual purposes. And it's not done in a go, but in the beginning, they will just befriend them, buy things to them, and they will talk to them, and they slowly they will just make them vulnerable. And after that, they use these girls for sexual purposes, and they were even getting gang raped. That's how that went on. So um, the horrific part is that after these incidents came to the notice of the parents, when they tried to rescue these girls from the scene and all, instead of arresting the persons, or the perpetrators, the parents, the the fathers mostly, they were getting arrested for trying to rescue these girls. So that's one part of that story. Then most of other part, it's like the story is getting cancelled, because if you say this and if you mention the name of the people and mention, if you group all these people who are behind this crime, and if you look at the numbers, and if that happens to be, or when it happened to be, some people mostly from the Pakistani descent, like British Pakistanis, so if you say that, that will go like a racism, or that a kind of bigotry against them, like Islamophobia and other things. So that was used as a shield for not to make this into a discussion, and to um, come up with justice for them. So that's what happened. So this went unnoticed, and almost 1,500 girls were affected by this. That's the magnitude of this problem. And more than that, many girls were part of this group, and they were under their influence, and it comes to around a large number of people were around under this influence. So that's the magnitude of the problem. And apart from that, uh, the president, the prime minister who is now sitting in UK, he was the legal person, or the person who was overseeing these legal actions during that period, that is in 1900s. And after that, now when he is the prime minister, he's not accountable for not applying his proper duty in identifying the real culprits in this issue. So that's one aspect which is now being called out. His omission of duty. That's what is the exact problem here is. So now he's in the office, and he's now indirectly supporting the perpetrators by not to bring them under the law and to give them the proper punishment. And most of them are even now freely roaming around in the country. So that's the bigger issue here. Yeah.
So I
So
saw
that's it.
some of the headlines I saw were saying that it was fake news. It was being blown up. So you're saying this was actually really going on. This wasn't a fake story. This was really going on.
Yeah, they usually say that,
Discriminate.
but that's not. There are a lot of victim accounts, uh, their interviews and other things which are available already, and above all, we have the court proceedings, which is in the printed form, which anyone can go through, and the exact narrations and the exact the horrific occurrence, everything is mentioned in that. So that's also available. So we cannot dismiss it that way. Yeah.
Okay. And it was Elon. So why would Elon bring this, like make this an issue? It was just something that was personal to him that he thought wasn't getting attention and needed to be addressed.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember the starting point of this, but he made a post, something related to this, and that's the beginning. That's what I remember. I don't know exactly what the motive behind this was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so I just saw some headlines, but I didn't actually follow up on the story. Just I saw people talking about it, but I didn't read it myself because I wasn't sure if this was just hype or if this was real. So I
Mm-hmm.
just was waiting for it to shake out a little bit and see like
Mm-hmm.
what comes out of it. So interesting. So
Yeah. A short news which is from Syria that happened almost last week, I think. That's something a German minister was humiliated in Syria. That's the heading which we saw that from Syria. The media there blurred the images of that Golani, that is the leader of that new ministry over there. He was, what do you say, diplomatic tensions flare as Syrian media blurs German foreign minister Annalena during a high stake visit with handshake snubs and controversial censorship. Her trip to Damascus has sparked global outrage and debate over Syria's treatment of female leaders. As Germany and France attempt to rebuild ties with Syrian new leadership, is a sign of deeper political rifts. That's the statement which I can read from this report. So she her face. Obviously, she's a female, so you know how what happens in Islamic regime. Faces are to be covered, and you won't even get a handshake over there. So that happened, and they see this as a clue or a signal towards what is going on in Syria, the kind of treatment a woman would receive in such a country where Islamic regime is in place, Islamic rules are in place. Yeah, I think
Interesting.
that's it. Yeah, mostly,
That's it for this
mostly
week.
most of
Yeah.
the news. Yeah, most of the news were from this wildfire and other things. So, anything else from your part?
No, no, just the chat on the fires. So that's been the big thing. Like I've got like my brother lives there. I've got really close friends. So they all
Mhm.
live like well outside of the where the fires are. Like they're in like
Okay.
the suburbs of LA. So they're not anywhere near it. But still, it's quite. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people who've been are now homeless, and like you've already got a housing shortage. Now you've got tens of thousands of people who've lost their homes. Where are they going to live? And there's been stories of landlords trying to gouge people with things, but California has price gouging laws, so the cops are gonna be going after those people who've been hiking prices, so they're gonna be in deep shit. So
Mm, yeah. So
so
let's see next week
so,
with some
so,
interesting news from the
okay,
all of the world. Okay.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll see everybody next week. Bye bye.